The snow fell like a curse that night, merciless and bitter, as if the heavens themselves had turned their backs on the helpless. Inside a freezing emergency vehicle perched on a desolate Wyoming mountain pass, Ellie Monroe clutched the CB radio mic with trembling hands. Her breath fogged the cracked windshield, and the heater had begun to fail. She had been calling for help for nearly 5 hours now, and every unanswered plea carved deeper into her heart. "This is Station 9, Alpha." She whispered hoarsely into the mic, "We've got a school bus full of children stranded on Route 26. Engines dead. Temps dropping fast. Please, is anyone listening?" Static. She closed her eyes, fighting back tears. They were just kids, 12 of them, on their way back from a museum field trip. A freak snowstorm had hit with no warning, swallowing the road, the trees, the signal, and now hope. The radio crackled again, but only with the same cold emptiness she'd been met with for hours. She could barely feel her fingertips anymore. Her partner Mark had gone on foot to flag down help after their signal booster failed. That was 3 hours ago. He hadn't returned. She was alone. Except, she wasn't. 2 miles away, in the dark belly of the blizzard, sat the bus. Ellie had kept in radio contact with the driver, Mr. Whitmore, a retired Marine and local school volunteer, but even his voice had grown weaker by the hour. The last time he checked in, he said one of the little ones, Liam, just 6, had stopped responding. They'd used up all their blankets, and now frost was creeping into their bones. Ellie couldn't sit here anymore. She couldn't listen to silence and die waiting. She pressed the mic again, her voice cracking as desperation took hold. "This is Station 9 Alpha. I don't care if you're 5 miles or 500, if you can hear this, please, we need you." For a moment, there was only snow and static. Then, a voice. "This is Lone Star 57. I copy, Station 9 Alpha." Ellie gasped and gripped the mic like a lifeline. "Say again. Please, did you say you're nearby?" "Affirmative. Heading north on I-25. Chains are on. Just tell me where to go." A sob escaped her lips. "You're a miracle. They're 2 miles off Route 26. Bus went down near mile marker 184. I'm about 45 out. Roads are hell, but I'll make it." Who are you?" she whispered. There was a pause. Then, just a trucker with nowhere better to be. Tom Barrett hadn't meant to be driving through the worst storm of the year. At 61, he'd seen his fair share of bad weather behind the wheel of his old Kenworth rig. Hauling canned food from Denver to Salt Lake had been his usual run for years. But something about that night had stirred something in his gut, something old, something painful. He hadn't turned off the road like the others. He hadn't pulled into a rest stop or waited it out. He'd kept driving. Somewhere deep inside, he knew why. His daughter, Ellie, same name, years ago, had once waited for him during a snowstorm. He'd been too late. He never forgave himself. Her little face still haunted his rearview mirror. So when the radio came alive with a woman's voice begging for help, for children, he didn't hesitate. He turned off the main highway and into the storm. And he drove. Ellie kept her lights on full blast, rotating beacons glowing red and gold in the whiteout. Every few minutes, she radioed updates to Lone Star 57, her only connection to hope. Tom kept replying, voice steady as a lighthouse beam. "Still rolling. Coming up on a down sign. Visibility's worse, but I see your glow. Keep heading west. You'll see me parked on the right, just past a bend." "How bad are the kids?" She hesitated. "One's not responsive. The rest are freezing. I don't know how long they'll last." Tom didn't respond immediately. Then, firm, "We'll get to them. No one dies tonight." An hour passed. Then, out of the swirling darkness, came headlights. Big ones. Glowing through the snow like twin moons. Ellie ran into the storm, waving a flare with frozen fingers. The truck pulled up, brakes hissing like a beast exhaling. The driver's side door opened, and down stepped Tom Barrett. He looked like a relic from another time, weathered face, silver beard, long coat dusted in snow. But his eyes were alive. "You called for help," he said. Ellie could barely form the words. "You actually came." He gave a faint smile. "Let's go get your kids." Together, they climbed back into the cab and pushed through the storm toward the stranded bus. The tires crunched over drifts, the headlights slicing through an ocean of white. After 10 agonizing minutes, they saw it, a yellow bus, barely visible under a thick quilt of snow. Its front grille was iced over. No lights. No heat. Ellie jumped out and ran to the door. It was jammed. Tom grabbed a crowbar and pried it open with a grunt. Inside, it was colder than death. Children sat huddled under coats and scarves. Some cried. Others stared, silent and pale. The driver looked up, face drawn. "You made it." Tom stepped inside, his big frame filling the entrance. "Let's move." One by one, they carried the children into the warm truck cab. Tom had a portable heater running full blast, plus emergency blankets and canned hot chocolate. Ellie helped rub their hands, hold them close, whisper that they were safe now. Little Liam wasn't responding. His lips were blue. Tom sat down, unzipped his coat, and pressed the boy against his chest. "Come on, buddy, come back." For a few terrifying minutes, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the boy shivered, and let out a whimper. Ellie sobbed. They kept working, trip after trip, until everyone was inside the rig. The kids were safe. The driver wrapped in wool. The teachers weeping with relief. Tom took one last look at the bus and whispered, "Not today, old man. You didn't let them die today." Dawn broke pale and soft, like forgiveness. Rescue crews finally made it up the road, alerted by Ellie's last transmissions and flares Tom had set off. They were stunned to find every child alive. Warm. Smiling. The paramedics said if help had come an hour later, 3 of them, including Liam, wouldn't have made it. Ellie looked at Tom and whispered, "You saved them." He shook his head. "We saved them." The story hit local news. Then national. The headlines read, "Lone Trucker Defies Blizzard to Rescue 12 Children." Social media called him a guardian angel. Donations poured in for the kids, the school, and to fix Tom's old rig. He tried to disappear afterward, never liked the spotlight. But Ellie wouldn't let him. She tracked him down a week later and asked him one question. "How would you like to help build something that saves even more lives?" He smiled. "I'm listening." Together, they founded Storm Angels, a grassroots network of volunteer drivers trained in search and rescue support, people who wouldn't wait for perfect weather to do the right thing. They installed better radio systems in remote areas. They trained people like Tom. They answered calls no one else would. And every winter, without fail, one rig always led the charge, white and silver with the words Lone Star 57 across the door. One day, years later, Liam, now a teenager, visited Ellie and Tom at a fundraiser. He hugged them both and said, "You gave me more than my life. You gave me a future." Tom didn't say much, he never did. But when Liam left, Ellie saw him wipe a tear from his weathered cheek. Because sometimes, in the middle of a storm, a stranger hears your cry. And becomes the miracle you never expected.